Welcome back. We're still coming to you from the Results Operations Center here at Galaka Estate in Midrand. We've come to the business end of things when it comes to all of the VDs that have completed their accounting. We're at 98.08%. The picture is starting to become a bit more clear. We're starting to see all of the patterns and the culmination of your votes, South Africa, your decision making, and where it will ultimately lead us when it's all said and done. A very, very complicated picture indeed that's been drawn. South Africa is in uncharted waters of what it looks like is going to be a lot of coalition and horse trading that will be happening in the next couple of weeks. And joining us right now is one of the political parties that's going to be at the heart of getting the new government of the day, not only in the KZN and other provinces, but nationally in South Africa. Mr. Singh, Chief Whip of the IFP. Thank you so much, and good morning.
Good morning to you and to your listeners. Good to be back.
The last time you and I spoke, it was at around 50%. The VDs counted. You could almost see, the trajectory of the votes. We are right now at 98.08%. What picture is the IFP seeing develop, and how can you, kind of suss out how you've done thus far?
Well, so far as the IFP, we're pretty pleased with the results, given the circumstances that I think perhaps the ANC, EFF, and ourselves found ourselves in with the tsunami by the MK. And I use that word deliberately, the tsunami, because, as we all know, tsunamis come and they go. So medium to long term, I do not believe that the MK is here to stay. They had an objective to reduce the ANC, teach them a lesson. They've done that. They've got their own challenges now of sorting out their leadership and positions, etc. But as IFP, and just looking at this Saturday paper here and the picture on the front page, it shows the IFP at 303,000. And if you look at the board today, we are at 636,000. So, results are still coming in, and I noticed an increase in our numbers. So we're pretty pleased, but I don't think any party will be entirely pleased with what they've got. We always want more.
In 2019, at this point, the IFP was sitting at around 3.38%. This year, it's around 3.93%. Almost bordering on 4%. What is behind this? Upward trajectory, even with the challenge of the MK making inroads in this year's elections?
Well, we had a campaign that took us to all parts of the province, KZN in particular, and to all provinces. And I think it has helped us in no small measure that happened, because we were more visible on the ground. And when I look at the votes that we got from the other provinces, probably about 45,000 votes, which is quite considerable. It makes up a seat or two. So what we aim to do, and hope that our younger leadership will do this, is to just keep up that momentum of visiting other provinces, building from what we have, and try and increase the footprint of the IFP to a national footprint. We did a lot of work. We had lots of rallies, and I think all the hard work has paid off, because by yesterday, I was, as a Treasurer General, extremely dejected when I saw the numbers, because thinking of the money that we had to spend and the energy and the time that we put in, I just thought, it really wasn't worth it. But today, I can breathe a sigh of relief and say, well, it was worth it. All that effort was worth it.
Let's focus a bit on the multi-party charter. You guys are having a meeting today. Looking at all the parties involved, including yourselves, it didn't pan out so well. How would you rate the ambitions of the multi-party charter versus the reality that we're facing right now?
Yeah, the multi-party charter, if you look at, the DA is the prominent player in it. got about 30% of the votes nationally, which is quite it's good
Yeah.
at 30%. Because if the multi-party charter wants to work as a bloc, then you talk about 30%. You know, however, I don't think that's going to happen because there are some partners within the charter who have been saying for some time now, because this topic was on the table, that if we don't achieve 50% plus one, what next? And I think the general thinking is that each party would go its own way. And
Is that the IFP
the
stance
general,
right now?
well, that's what we believe will be the stance that we're going to bring to the table there. And from our President Tabisa has also indicated that there were discussions in the past on this principle that post-election, if we don't achieve the 50% plus one, then each party goes their own way. But we want confirmation of that or any other position, and the leaders are going to be meeting later on this afternoon to just verify if that's still the position amongst all of them.
A lot has been said about the IEC, a lot of objections being raised, a lot of parties calling for manual recounts, a few of the wards also, we've seen what's happening in the Western Cape and other parts of the country. What does the IFP stand in all of this?
Well, we have had some instances of people not being able to vote at the station, the names appearing on the voter devices and not on the ballot on the voting sheet, the printed one, and vice versa. But I think they were few and far between, and we don't believe it's going to impact on the results as such. However, there were areas where the votes as registered and counted and signed off at the voting districts did not tally with what has been inputted into the computer system. So we are raising those issues. And we don't think it was deliberate because, people get tired. We are tired. All of us are tired. And imagine those people inputting there, for hours on end. So, if it's 142, you could make it 1-2, you can make it 1-4-2-0. But let's see how the IEC deals with those objections, how substantial they are, and how they would affect the results.
And just looking at just how complex this year's election has been, most particularly the results themselves. The IEC having about 7 days, window period before they can release the results, and after that, about 14 days, for a government to be formed. Do you think this is feasible? Looking at just how complicated things are looking right now.
With this kind of scenario that we're facing, we'll really have to relook at the timetables that we've set for ourselves. I think the timetable was set in 1994 with a view that there will be winners, there will be losers. People with majorities. That's no longer the case, and it's not going to be the case moving forward. So, if it's difficult, if we find that there's difficulty in setting up government now, we can always, at Parliament, extend that period to probably a month or so before Parliament sits and convenes and sets up the executive. But there's certainly going to be a need for adjustments in our timetables as we move forward.
All right, going to leave it there, Mr. Singh. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Mr. Narend Singh of the IFP, Chief Whip of the IFP, giving us an update on the IFP and their thoughts as we're coming to the business end of things about 98.08 completion of the voting districts. This equates to 22,844 of the 23,292 voting districts completed. We're going to leave it here for now. Join us as we conduct more interviews and get more reactions from different political parties as we come to the business end of the completion of the voting districts counting. More after this.